This is Hylics 2. Hylics is a game by Mason Lindroth, lovingly sculpted through his unique claymation technique. Hylics is also a game that challenges expectations, makes the player wonder what craziness they'll encounter next. Intentionally or not, Mason has created a peak example of camp. But what is camp? Is it just craziness for its own sake? Or is there more to uncover under the facade?
Legendary slumbers tonight at 4. Open up the door. Oh, come on, let me in. Open up the door. Come on, nigga, let me in. Open up the door. Oh, come on, let me in. Open up the door.
One of, if not the first camp scholar, Susan Sontag, writes, "Camp is a vision of the world in terms of style, a particular kind of style. It is the love of the exaggerated, the off, of things being what they are not. Camp sees everything in quotation marks. It's not a lamp, but a lamp. Not a woman, but a woman." To perceive camp in objects and persons is to understand being as playing a role. It is the farthest extension, in sensibility, of the metaphor of life as theater. In Hylics, you don't have humans. At best, you have humanoids, and that's if you're lucky. You're not the destined hero, you're one Wayne in a colony of hundreds. The names are Orodozer and Hylum Xylum, verbal pullings of the English language. Hylics asked you to take your preconceived notions and stretch them until the seams unravel. It's game as cultural art, second-person theater, claymation fever dream, all in one. Its colors are psychedelic and extravagant, painting pictures where all the subjects just barely make sense. BBC Culture writes that camp may be roughly described as a form both of performance and of perception, celebrating theatricality and excess, improvising reality as a stage for outrageously ironic self-display and reinvention. Following in the subversive tradition of Earthbound and Undertale, Hylics questions genre conventions and thrusts upon the player a new perspective.
Voguing, the common moves, there's usually 5 elements that you have to do. Hand performance.
The Met Museum writes, "Voguing is a stylized stop-motion dance based on the iconic poses seen in Vogue magazine. Because of its associations with theatricality, drag, and posing, it is rooted in camp." In parallel, Hylics 2's combat system is composed of hand motions where the common attack is a snap and spells are gestures. Each move is literally choreographed by Mason Lindroth, modeled into clay, and transported to your screen. The characters' dances are so powerful in this world that they can smite down the mishmash of enemies that stand in their way. Perhaps that is aspirational for real-life voguing, to create a dance so energetic, so powerful that oppression and marginalization is crushed. Hylics 2 is supposedly a party-based JRPG. The genre conventions of a JRPG are all present, but each entity existing within the prescribed space is made to be bizarre and fantastical. To even consider it a JRPG or something similar, we need to understand what a JRPG is. David Erickson from Geek to Geek Media takes a swing at a definition. A JRPG is a role-playing video game that is made in Japan or influenced by the style of early Japanese role-playing games, like Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy. But what do Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy have? Ironically, David provides some specific detail through his line of questioning. Which of these elements really matter? Is it the class system, the story-forward nature, leveling up and experience points, or maybe the fact that the game is primarily played politely in alternating turns? Hylics 2 takes each of these features, experience, class, story, and turns, and subverts them into unique presentations. For example, playable characters don't gain experience, they instead gain meat, which you then have to grind up for stat bonuses. The story is present, but it's abstracted and garbled, with many characters speaking little more than nonsense. The game normally functions in turns, but the overworld is a leisurely paced platformer with faster paced Mega Man style minigames hidden within it. Additionally, you have mundane items like a banana that function like a healing potion, but then you also have strange things like a pneumatophore, which is an aerial root, which actually improves your platforming by letting you rocket through the air. If you like subversive and challenging art, you should try Hylics 2. If you like to be disturbed at times and amazed at others, you should try Hylics 2. If you like getting high, you should try Hylics 2. But if you're not willing to challenge yourself and expand your mind, then maybe Hylics is not for you.